Your story matters, don't let it fade. When everything changed, you were made.
Everything changed when I told my mom that I wanted to end my life because I felt like she didn't love me and I wasn't enough for her. She slowly got up from the table, she hugged me, and she told me, "Everything's going to be okay, and I love you." Yeah, that would have been a magical moment. Do you know what she did when I told her on that night, when everything changed, and when I confided into her that I wanted to end my life? She sat there and shrugged. She didn't even look at me. She just shrugged and then moved out the next day. No other words at all. Do you know, just dead silence, except for that snarky ass feeling of a shrug. Do you know what I did on that night when everything changed? On that night that she shrugged at me? I ran to my closet, I sat on my floor, and I held myself, and I rocked back and forth, crying uncontrollably, just like I used to as a little girl. Little Stephanie took over to protect adult Stephanie, and I just sat there. Everything changed that night. I didn't only stop loving myself, but everyone and everything around me. I just wanted to climb into a dark hole and not come out again. My mind raced with so many thoughts and feelings. And the one question that nagged at my head constantly was, if my mom doesn't love me, how can anyone else? That question raced in my mind over and over and over and over again until I felt defeated and like an empty shell inside. I had no more love to give or to receive. For 18 months, I had that question and repeat in my mind. If my mom doesn't love me, how can anyone else? That led me to write daily letters to my loved ones to let them know I love them, but I didn't know how. And it was time for me to go. Yup, that's 547 letters I would write. I would reread it, I would cry, and then I would hear a whisper, "You're not done here on this earth. Your children and grandchildren need you. Keep going." That whisper was from my grandma. But then I would wonder, how? How can I continue? I don't understand why that happened to me. Why did she shrug at me at the table that night? Why did she leave with no words? Why did she leave without a simple goodbye? Why hasn't she reached out to me? Why? I'll never understand why that happened to me. But what I do understand is I have felt unlovable, not enough, and unwanted from her for as long as I can remember. Her shrugging at me that night impacted me by making me feel unlovable, not enough, and unwanted as a child. Why did I feel unlovable? I don't remember her ever holding me, comforting me, or telling me that was going to be enough. It was usually her mean words or my stepdad at the time's heavy hand that I got that hurt me. I used to play house with my Barbies. I would draw pictures of happy homes. I dreamt of having a family that just loved me. Her shrugging at me that night brought back so many feelings of feeling not enough or too much. Why did I feel not enough or too much? Because I would get those mean words or that heavy hand. For my grades not being good enough, even though I was on the honor roll and in accelerated classes, my room wasn't clean enough, even though I was just trying to play with my toys. Or I didn't even eat all the food on my plate and being called ungrateful, even though I may have been full or didn't like it. My nickname from my mom and my stepdad at that time was Blab. I hated that name. I had things to say, and they would tell me, "Go to your room, shut up." Her shrugging at me that day brought back so many feelings of being unwanted. Why did I feel unwanted? I don't remember any of my parents ever really wanting me. I felt like it was a tug of war game between two households on how I should be. I wasn't a kid in trouble. I was a kid troubled inside with what if I say or do the wrong thing to get into trouble. Little Stephanie was lonely, confused, and scared. I was a kid that just wanted to be loved and enough and to feel safe. The one place that I did feel loved, enough, and safe was at my grandparents' home. My grandma was my solid rock. At their house, I could play in the dirt. I could sneak veggies from the garden. I could swing, go boating, play games like Wahoo and Skip-Bo. I would be praised. I would get hugs. She even chaperoned my events. She supported me in everything, and she guided me and just let me be me. I got to tag along with my grandma often, and as adults, there was not a day that went by that we did not talk with each other. My grandma was my one constant in life. Fast forward to a few months before my grandma, my mom, and my stepdad with dementia were going to be moving into our home. And I remember my grandma asking me, do you think this is a good idea? My mom and I hadn't lived together since the summer before my 8th grade year. That summer before my 8th grade year, we had a big falling out at my mom's house, and I was finally able to go live with my dad. And I remember sitting in the car with my mom. She handed me an envelope, and she said, "Here, give this to your dad and tell him happy fucking birthday." It was the papers that gave me permission to go live with my real dad and not with her. That day that my grandma reminded me of how it was when we lived together last, my mom and I, that summer before my 8th grade year, I remember telling my grandma, "It'll be fine. We're adults now. Everything will be okay." Boy, was I in for a surprise. I lost my wonderful grandma here on Earth 2 weeks before they were all due to move into our home. I am blessed that it was just my grandma and I when she passed. It really was a beautiful moment. I lifted my shield, pulled down my mask, slipped off my rubber glove, and I held her hand for skin-to-skin contact. And then I sang her favorite hymn to her, Amazing Grace, as she took her final breath. And then I laid my head on her chest and I cried as she transitioned. Before leaving her room, I gently slipped off her wedding ring and I put it on my right hand. I would do anything to talk to her and feel her love again for me. When I do miss her or I need her, I touch her beautiful ring and I remember all her love and the good memories that I had with her. Now I can take that love that she poured into me and I can pour that into my family and into myself. I know that if I did not know how her love felt and I didn't hear those daily whispers from her, that I would not be standing here today talking to you now. My mom and my stepdad with dementia proceeded to move into our home so we could help care for him. And he passed peacefully 3 months in our home before that shrug at the table from my mom. It was hard and very triggering when she lived with us. All those snarky ass comments that I heard as a child all resurfaced as an adult. And on top of it, I didn't even get to grieve for my grandma, went right into caring for my stepdad with dementia. I am blessed that I did have the opportunity to help care for him, though, because he was a caring and kind soul, and he loved me too. But why? Why did she shrug at me at the kitchen table? I don't know why this happened to me. And then one day, I read a quote that really resonated with me by Byron Katie. Life is simple. Everything happens for you, not to you. Everything happens at exactly the right moment, neither too soon or too late. Those words really, really, really meant a lot to me. It made me realize that this happened for me to learn to love me, for me to learn that I am enough, for me to truly love me in my not enoughness and my too muchness. But how? How the heck do I do that? Where do I begin? How the hell do I get out of this dark hole? How do I love again? To begin that climb out of that deep, dark hole, I knew I had to do the work. I didn't really know where to begin, so I started with talk therapy. That helped me to a point, but I was still feeling unlovable, not enough, and unwanted. And then one day, many days actually, I had this ad on social media that pops up. You guys ever get that? And you're like, well, it must be talking to me. So I listened to my gut. I thought, why not? And I signed up for a self-love coaching certification. It was a grueling certification. She had us dig deep, peel back layers, and really work on ourselves to be able to pour into others. The self-love roadmap entails self-forgiveness, self-acceptance, self-gratitude, self-care, and self-trust. And I learned that I've always looked for love and validation external sources, material things, relationships, even my job. But I never really took the time to love the most important person in my life, me. My transformation happened one layer at a time, not only through the self-love roadmap, but through inner child and shadow work. I really started peeling back those ugly layers. And then I was introduced to energy work, hypnotherapy, and sound healing. And that's when it kind of got a little bit uglier, right? You're peeling that shit back. And you're like facing it and you're like, whoa. But slowly, I started emerging from that dark hole. And then I would see glimmers of light reminding me that I was on the right path to keep going. And then I listened to my intuition, and I have turned my pain into my purpose. And I help others on their self-love journey. It's really a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I not only help them through the self-love roadmap, but I also help them with art, journaling, and energy work. I love art because I can express my emotions in a creative way, just up and out of my canvas, no expectations, no end goal, up and out and playing. I love journaling because I can just word vomit on my paper using subconscious techniques. So when those thoughts get stuck on my head on repeat, they help me get them out. And I love energy work because it's helped me become self-aware. Learning to be in soul alignment and in my own natural vibration has been a beautiful feeling. And then I had to reprogram myself from all those conditioned behaviors, years and years of conditioned behavior, to learn how to be in a state of calm and to learn that it's okay not to be in fight, flight, or free state all of the time. You see, when you focus on that present moment and not carrying everything with you, you create a space of peace. Do I still have days that I feel unlovable, not enough, not wanted? Heck yeah. But that's when I turn to my little self-love bag and then I pull out a tool that'll help me. Gratitude. See what else we have in here. Going to the gym. Being cocooned in a blanket. That's so awesome. Sometimes you just have to recognize that. Journaling. We have a whole bunch in here, guys. Ready? We're gonna go fast. Breath work, yoga, sound healing, art, affirmations, a hug, sitting in nature, hypnotherapy, crying. It's okay. If you just need to freaking cry, cry. Meditation and going for a walk. There's so many things that you can do, but it really is truly loving yourself and honoring and listening to what your mind and body, soul need right now. Before I got to that place of healing and forgiving myself, I had to forgive my mom. So my hypnotherapist had me write her a letter. It was hard as hell. I got stuck. And then she taught me how to word vomit to just get it all up and out. So here it goes, my word vomiting to help release and not carry around all that pain that I've been carrying around for years and years since a little girl, and to help me with that underlying question, if my mom doesn't love me, then how can anyone else? Forgiving is for you, dated 8/10/2024, to Karen, my ex-mom, from Stephanie, not Blab. Subject, I forgive you. Dear Karen, I want to let you know that I forgive you for not caring about me, loving me, nurturing me, and just plain hating me. This situation made me feel alone, not good enough, not lovable, sad, frustrated, mad, and downright pissed off. I understand that you hurt inside yourself and never healed, and never will because you don't think anything is wrong. I hate you for this. This experience made me realize that I don't have to be your daughter. You just birthed me. I'm here to shine light onto others and not you any longer. Keep your dark cloud above you and not me. I also forgive myself for believing that one day you would love me and truly care about me, for me. Rising from the darkness is not just about finding the light, but finding the light within. You see, when you truly love yourself and you become your own constant, nothing external can take that from you. You are enough, you are loved, and you are not alone. Thank you.
Your story